Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fikri bin Muhammad Kudus. This is my introduction about unitary state. A unitary state, a form of governmental structure in which, unlike a federal state, most or all of the legislative authority reside in a centralized government. There is a brief treatment of the unitary state. The unitary state is governed as a single body in which the central government is ultimately supreme. Unitary states are in contrast to federation, also known as federal state. The central government can create or abolish administrative division such as subnational unit in unitary state. These units only exercise the power which the central government wish to delegate. Third political authority can be transferred by law to regional or local governments via devolution. The central government can repeal the action of devolved government or limit, such as or expand their powers. The overwhelming majority of states in the world, 166 out of the 193 member states of the United Nations have a unitary government system. 166 out of the 193 member states of the United Nations have a unitary government system. In federations, the provincial or regional government share power with the central government as equal actor without a written constitution that need the approval of both parties to make adjustment. This implies that subnational units have a right or life and the power that the central government cannot arbitrarily modify. Devolution can be symmetrical within a unitary state, such as federalism, with all subnational units having the same or asymmetrical power and status, with subnational units differing in their powers and status. There are no areas with a degree of autonomy in many unitary states. Subnational regions in such country do not decide their own law. Romania, Ireland, and Norway are example. It is regulated by the government directly and has no rule.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Mutawakil bin Ahmad Azmi. Today I will present about research question. First, unitary and federal are the system of the government. What is unitary system? So second, there are various features in unitary system that have in country. What are the most important features in unitary system? Third, what are the advantage and disadvantage of unitary system? And lastly, political scientists have classified governments into unitary and federal on the basis. What are the difference between unitary system and federal system?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Azza binti Mazhar. Today I would like to present about theoretical framework. Okay, theory comes from Greek word which is the theories, which means seeing, beholding, or taking in. Theory is a system of idea in order to explain something. In other words, political theory is a highly personal vision of an individual about the political reality in order to explain something regarding on political matters. Political theory is about how the thinkers say something regarding on political matters and try to find the truth. The people who seek about it will provide a mass of data which they suggest how the thinkers to solve the problem faced by the society. Okay, there is a difference between political theory and political philosophy. Okay, where the political philosophy is the study of political phenomena of the state. Political philosophy is the stress about what is and also what it will be. Political philosophy is the one of categories of normative political theories. Political philosophy is more focused to be universal issues like nature of political rights, justice, and others. As example, Plato is the one example of the political philosopher that founded about political science. The Republic, the statement, and the laws are Plato's major political idea. The Republic is one of his greatest works. With his tales, we'll talk about politics, philosophy, and education. It is also giving a detailed and radical account of a just and ideal of political system. Plato also argued that the best government will reflect the natural capacity of humanity. He also defines that human beings are more combination of body, minds, and spirits. His conception of ideal state is based on justice, education, and communism. According to Plato also, the meaning of justice is give to every man his due, which means every proper position should be placed by individuals. For example, the individual is allowed to work at the place that he is suited. According to David, there are two types of research which are the basic and the applied. This study falls under the category of applied research, where it seeks to developing theories about why something happened and it looks for causal relationship. Therefore, this is a qualitative or descriptive study. According to Bruce Birch, qualitative research properly seeks answer to questions by examining various social settings and the individuals who inhabit. And for qualitative researchers, they are more interested in how humans arrange themselves and their settings. It is also understood that qualitative method is used to describe a set of non-statistical inquiry techniques and processes used to gather data about social phenomena. Fundamentally, it differs from quantitative research in a number of ways. For instance, qualitative research profoundly concerns with inductive theory generating subjective and neo-positivist process. Besides that, this study will also look into socio-political phenomena by using the approach of content analysis. Content analysis as a research technique is frequently used among qualitative researchers. According to Klaus Krippendorf, content analysis is defined as a research technique for making replicable and valid inference from text to the context of their use. Therefore, in this study, recorded speeches and official documents are treated as the primary source of data and will be analyzed in terms of its text in order to draw up the specific patterns of the proposed case study. When it comes to newspaper, Michaela Walkman opines that the researchers have long employed newspaper as a unique source of information, and it has been used for biographical research and at the same time it offers a wealth of the first-hand information. Surely it is decisively suggests that the newspaper have the tendency to record all the events that happen while the features or remaining unknown. This study will be utilizing the newspaper as part of primary sources. Besides official documents recorded by the government agencies, the newspaper events can be also crucial since it records most of science, social and political actions around us. In supporting the statement, Walkman further adds the newspaper provide eyewitness accounts and direct quotation from the participant, and it leads to significant primary source documentation for researchers. Besides that, Afna Segal and Sandra Sitsmi maintain that newspapers are never neutral or subjective, and they are always ideologically positioning and always embedded in particular ways of seeing and representing the world. Despite of various characteristics of newspaper, it guides us in understanding the social setting as a whole. As for secondary data, the study will heavily engage on books and scholarly articles which are to be acquired from various educational institutes such as the libraries of International Islamic University (IIUM), University Kebangsaan Malaysia (UKM), University of Malaya (UM), and the National Library, and also from the University of Flagship Journal. The findings and results of this study are provided in the form of content analysis to facilitate the understanding of the purpose topic.
Next, the feature of unitary system is centralization of power. Both power are consolidated in the hand of the central government in a unitary structure, and that central is the reservoir of all state powers. There are no state government in this system, and the constitution empowers the central governments with full force to legislate, conduct, and adjudicate. In order to share governmental authority with the central government, there is no other agency. The central government, on the one hand, has absolute powers to rule without any external interferences, and runs the government state administration without any fears and terror, with trust. In the other hand, without any oversight, the rulers will their force in an absolute manner. Centralization of authority is an institutional concern in itself. While there is a form of local government in many unitary states, functions are assigned to these units with strict central supervision or oversight. Okay, the next one is single and simple government. The system of unitary government is quite basic. There are neither provincial assemblies and executive nor the upper chambers at the centre, with the exception of British. In the south, there is a single central government. There is popularly elected unicameral legislature. The central legislature is there to legislate, conduct the executive, and adjudicate without any share of the judiciary. Their expenses are smaller, and the single command is used to manage the state. Upper chambers are typically costly, and pure states cannot afford this cost. So it clear and understandable method it easy for regular people to grasp its function and powers. Okay. Furthermore, is uniformities of law. Another characteristic of a unitary government is that, unlike in a federation, the law of the unitary system are uniform, since law for the entire state are created only by a single central government. In the rest of the state, law made by the central are uniformly applied without any territorial distinctions, although the structure of the law varies from province in the federation. Therefore, the uniformity of laws in the unitary setup is in line with the of human justice and design, being sometimes strong contrast in law of the same kind are seen in a federation or federal structure with complicated the situation. Okay. 4 is no distribution of power. The federal constitution distribute authority between the central and the province. There is no list of the allocation of powers in the constitution in a unitary structure. However, the central government belong to both powers. In this method, the government is not in the business of allocating power, as the government is free of this head edge. This transfer government focus to grow. Last but not least is responsibility. Okay, arguably, the system is more accountable than federations. It is an essential element of this type of state that transparency is maintained in the specific institution, legislation, execution and judiciary. Investigation are the responsibility of the federal legislature. These organizations are responsible for their constitutional duties, so they do their best to stay within the circle of the law of the land. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Mutawakil bin Ahmad Azmi. Today I want to present about advantage of unitary system. There are many advantages of unitary system, such as great social unity. This is because we all know in the country they have many states that the government must take care of it. So when the government the people can interact with their president at every state, because we know that the people in this country have many people, so they can interact or speak with their president easily. The next advantage is encourage the government to be smaller instead of larger. This is because we know that, as I said before, the government have separate their powers, because in this country there are many states, so they separate it and call it as a department. For example, department. So every state have their department, so the people can interact with the government easily and don't based on the one government only. So that is easy for the government to take care of the every state in this country. The third advantage is government can respond quickly to an emergency situation. For example, like at the state have the problems, so the government can respond quickly, can take an action quickly, because they have their president in every state, so it is easy to take control. The fourth advantage is unitary government is centralized, and when they want to make a decision, they must discuss first before take an action. So they will hear the people speak and will discuss among them to solve any problem. The last advantage is unitary system are usually cheaper to run. That is because you do not deal with several levels of unitary bureaucracy. So this is can reduce the cost to the government to control this country. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Irfan. Okay, today I'm gonna present about disadvantage between unitary system of government. There are several disadvantages between unitary system of government. There are 4 disadvantages of unitary system. Okay, firstly, unitary system of government can be lacking in infrastructure. It's because unitary system of government for making decision quickly. The structure of unitary system can be lack in the infrastructure and need to implement the choice it makes. Second, the advantage between unitary system of government is manipulation can be happen quite easily in unitary system, because a unitary system can improve efficiency because there is a lack of bureaucracy. The structure of unitary system also make it possible for individuals in the government to manipulate the system. For example, when someone has power, decides to pursue more wealth or governing opportunity for themselves, then there are very few ways to stop that activity. Thirdly, the disadvantage between unitary system of government is the system can a slower national response in localized emergency. The decision-making process of a unitary system may be fast, but the design of the resources mean that the response can be very slow. Every authorizations from assistance must come through the centralized government. The last at least, the disadvantage between unitary system of government is the system can artificially shape the discussions of societies. A unitary system of government can decide at its leisure what is legal or illegal in society. For example, if someone have a power have to decide that their political opponent are a threat, then they can pass law which allow them to imprison for what they have done.
Hello, my name is Zul Haris Arif bin Muhammad Noor. Today I will explain about the difference between unitary system and federal system. The first difference between unitary system and federal system is unitary system is a concentration of power, while the federal constitution is division of power. Okay, let's go to the next point. The next point is the difference between unitary system and federal system is unitary system is a single government, while the federal system is a separate of government. Okay, the third difference between unitary system and federal system is unitary system can be a written or unwritten constitution, while the federal constitution must have the written constitution. Okay, the point number 4 is the difference between unitary system and federal system is unitary system have a rigid or flexible constitution, while the federal constitution must have a rigid constitution. The last but not least, the difference between unitary system and federal system is unitary system not have a special judiciary, but the federal system must have a special judiciary. That's all from me about explanation the difference between unitary system and federal system. See you soon. Thank you.
Hello. Today I'm gonna present conclusion. For the conclusion of a unitary system of government is the latest form of government that can be found on our planet nowadays. There are several disadvantages and advantages to work to balance needs and meet community requirement in country. There are also features that show the system work efficient and effective to our society. Instead of following multiple laws simultaneously, the general population is asked to follow one specific set of regulations. Instance, this process also have their own limit, confusion, and bureaucracy. We can tell that the unitary system also have their own weakness, which mean the lack of bureaucracy. That's all to me. Thank you.